Hey everybody, welcome to Executive Nomad. So I want to show you how to set up your own location independent business. It means you can live anywhere for full-time, for part-time, for just passing through, because you make the decisions, because the way in which I show you this framework today will give you freedom to live anywhere in the world that you want to. And you're going to learn a lot that you probably haven't come across before. And the reason I can tell you this is because, first of all, I'm the founder of Executive Nomad, but also I've been a nomad since 1991. So actually, I was a digital nomad before digital, about 4 years before digital. So I was an analog nomad. But I've been running my business, a high-paying, location-independent business, while living globally since then. So I've lived in many, many countries. And it started in 1991. Which, as I said, was before the World Wide Web, 4 years before. And it started when I bought this book. It's called PT, Volume 1. And PT stands for Perpetual Traveler. And it's all about how to be a nomadic businessman, business person. So you can see the relevance there. And that was 1991. And since then, on the left there, BBBB is Bye Bye Big Brother. And on the right, I have all of the every book in that series. As I said, now I don't know if you could buy them. I doubt you can, but legally and framework-wise, probably don't make much sense anymore. But the actual structure that they talk about is exactly the same now as it was back then. The BBBB was just an update that was in 2007 that I bought those. There's 3 books in the series, and they cost about $1,000 at the time, something like that. So that's kind of how I've become. That's how I started my nomad journey, and that's how I've continued it, and I've run it to today. So it's allowed me to live in all sorts of countries. I can choose today to leave this country and just head off somewhere else, and I can be there for a day, a week, a month, for a year, 2 years, whatever I want to be. I can make that choice because the minute I land, I have my business with me. I have every single thing I need to do. So mine is an online consulting business. So Executive Nomad is the lifestyle, but my company is an online consulting business, and it costs very, very little to run. It has very high profits, has 0 corporation tax, very low to 0 personal tax for me, and it is 100% location independent. That's kind of the most important thing to me, is that it's location independent. So wherever I choose to be for a week, a month, a year, I bring my own high-paying business. I just need my laptop, my phone, and a notepad, and I'd like to show you how to do the same. So my goal today, if you stay with me for the 40 minutes or so of this training program, of this workshop, is to show you how to create a $300,000 a year nomadic lifestyle business. I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to show you how I set up my company. I'm going to show you how I get clients, and I'm going to show you how to build this into a 300K plus above per year business. Is that guaranteed? It's not guaranteed, because I don't know what you can do. I don't know if you'll get out of bed in the morning, but certainly it's possible, and I'll show you how in this workshop. So my other goal today is to take you behind the scenes of my free training program. It goes really, really into depth about this. The reason it's free, just so you know, is that I hope that some people who take that course will decide to partner with me on deals. And not everybody will, and you don't have to, but if you decide to, then I'll show you why that makes an awful lot of sense for you as we get towards the end of the training. So make sure you stick around. So who's this for? Well, if you're heading to retirement, you're looking at redundancy, you're leaving the military, you're just burnt out, or you're just looking for the next adventure, then this could be right for you. This could be the exact opportunity that you're looking for. The reason is because you're not having to start from scratch. You're not having to go through months or years of training. You're not having to spend a fortune to get organized. And the money is enough to give you the nomad lifestyle that you're here to learn more about. It's good for men and women. It's good for people who are mature in years and outlook because of the nature of what we do, which I'm going to get into a second. You need to be mature. You need to have some life experience. You need to have management and leadership experience. So In this game, if you're 20, it's probably not going to be a fit for you. Being a digital nomad will definitely be a fit for you, but the nature of being an executive nomad is really for mature people. So it's good for you, it's right for you if you're good with people, if you're happy to run this kind of approach as Zoom live meetings, if you're comfortable dealing at management level. And that's why I said it's not going to be great for younger digital nomads. And the reason simply is this: is you will be dealing at management level, C-suite level, and you have to be comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable on a Zoom meeting having a discussion with people who run companies. They may have a $3 million company, £300 million company. They may have I'm going to start that again. So if you're good with people, you know how to run Zoom video meetings professionally and properly, or you're willing to learn. If you're comfortable working and liaising and talking and operating at a management level, and if you're a problem solver, this could be the right opportunity for you. And also, you have to accept that you've got to get out of bed in the morning to run this business like you do any other business. It's not magic. Money comes, but you have to do it. You have to do what you're taught to do. And you've got to be professional. There's a limited window. You can run this business, genuinely run this business from a beach most of the time, from a golf place, from a mountain, wherever you want to be, you can run it from. But there are certain things that need to go on and certain meeting environments. You have to be highly professional. And after that meeting's done and you've got the deal, you need to be reliable, articulate, and responsive to your clients. It's that simple. All right, so what is an executive nomad? And what's the difference between an executive nomad and a digital nomad? Well, it's really about money. It's about experience, professionalism, and money, because you're still running a consulting style business, which I'm going to take you through how mine works. So you're still dealing with people, but you're dealing at a very, very high level. So I don't want you to be thinking of just, selling stuff to local businesses and just selling widgets and all that. This is an executive level, high functioning business that you can run. But the value is you can run it from anywhere in the world that you choose to be. So you still have to do what's right to make it work. A digital nomad, and I've been meeting them for years, and I've got friends who run digital nomad co-working spaces. So I meet a lot of the people at events and trainings and so on. They're usually younger people, not always, and it is changing, but they're usually younger people, and they're focused more on the travel and just moving around, the nomad stuff. Whereas what executive nomads is they have the freedom to move around, but I don't mean move around from week to week. It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to live out of a suitcase. You can just move somewhere for the next 3 months. You can go onto Airbnb, find yourself an apartment down in the beach in Spain, or the beach in Malaga, or the somewhere in Italy, or somewhere in Florida, somewhere in Australia. It doesn't matter where you want to be. You can go onto Airbnb or Booking.com, find yourself a place for 3 months, put your laptop and your phone in your bag. When you arrive, you are still in business. There is still things to do, and you're offering a high-level service. So an executive nomad is still offering a high-level service for a high-level fee. And that's really the main difference. It's about maintaining the professionalism of your business and getting paid accordingly, because you'll be dealing at executive level. Okay, I'll take you through how I make money. So mine is an online consulting business, purely online. It's very, very rare that I actually meet my clients in the real world. I haven't done it since the pandemic, actually. So I don't do it. I don't need to, and I don't do it. So what I do is I have 4 areas of business. I raise business capital. So a company comes to me, the owner of a business, and said, we're a $10 million company. We need to raise $5 million to make an acquisition, or to grow our business, or to buy commercial real estate or something. And I help them to raise that money. I also help companies to find other businesses to buy. And you'll see other trainings on this, or other videos on this site of how that works. So I help them to find it. And that's just outreach. That's just me reaching out to my client is an engineering company, and he wants to buy another engineering company. I go and find the opportunities for him to acquire. I can't guarantee it because there may be none for sale or none that are a fit, but that's my job and that's what I get paid for. Conversely, in a kind of a flip side of that, I deal with companies who just want to sell. They want to exit their business. So I help them to find an acquirer. The process of both of those, but finding companies to buy and finding somebody to buy a company, is exactly the same process. And I'm going to take you through that. And also, really big, I help companies to float on the NASDAQ, on the stock exchange. Now, what's really important in all of that, before you go, good Lord, I can't get involved in the finance space, is that you don't need to know anything about finance to get this done. You're going to learn as you go along, but you don't need to know anything about finance. And that's because this isn't about finance. It's about people. It's about relationships. It's about building rapport. It's about empathy. It's about just following a process and being the kind of person online in this environment, being the kind of person that exudes confidence and respectability and reliability, because that's what separates you from being just a nomad or just a consultant to being an executive nomad and an executive consultant. So let's look at what raising capital means, and because this is how you make money. So I want to take you through this, and we will get to how much you make shortly, but I just want to take you quickly through what raising capital means. So why do companies raise capital? Well, they're expanding. They're a $10 million company. They want to be a $20 million company. They need money to get there. They'll raise capital for that. They may be acquiring another business. A lot of work I do is in that space. So they need the money to buy, maybe not all of the money. They may be buying a $20 million company and they only want to raise 5 million because that's what they need to actually take ownership, and the rest of the business will be paid for over time. So they may just need new staff or new premises or stock, machinery, vehicles. It's part of the growth process that they're looking to build out their business. They need money to get it done. You can help them to find that money. I'm going to take you how shortly. And again, remember, it doesn't matter where you are to do that. As long as you have your laptop, your phone, and a notepad, you've got everything you need to get these deals done. They may be just having a slow period and they need some cash flow, some bridging finance to take them over a certain period, and that can mount up too. And they may be heading for an IPO. IPOs are not cheap to do. If you're floating on the Swedish NASDAQ, it's somewhere between 360 and 400,000 euros to get that done, to get the ticker tape, to get you listed on the stock exchange. It could be any opportunity, and they may have the opportunity to buy out one of their early investors. They may have the opportunity to invest into another company that will give them higher market share. They may be looking to buy IP. Somebody's just invented something that is a game changer in their sector, and they want to take ownership of the intellectual property rights of that thing, whatever it might be. So loads and loads of reasons why companies raise capital. And they usually raise it in three ways. They either get debt, and that is simply they borrow the $10 million as an example, and they pay 2% to the people who make it happen, and they pay it back from money within the business. So a debt, the person writing the check will look at their company and say, all right, given the framework of what these people are looking to do, how confident am I that they would be able to repay that debt? If that all sounds good, and they have perhaps some guarantees or perhaps some collateral, maybe a real estate within the business, all sorts of things for the debt that makes the person who writes the check say, actually, this is a good deal. Let's do it. We charge 2% of what we charge of the number that we get. We're getting them 10 million. We charge 400,000. Equity is slightly different. In equity, you're still raising money, but you're taking a slice, or you're selling a slice of the business. You're finding investors who will buy. It's a $20 million company. They're raising 2 million. So 2 million is worth 10 million of their business today. So the person writing the check for equity for that 10% will be thinking, all right, if we do that and they do this with the money and they do this, then my 10% stake, which is worth 2 million today, will be worth 4 million in 2 years' time because of the increased value of the company. So they're buying equity in the hope that the equity value will increase over time. And then, of course, and then we charge 7% of that because there's a lot more work that's involved in doing that, which I'll take you through. And then hybrid is a mixture of both. So you know they can handle some debt, and a company doesn't want to give all away their business all in equity if they can help it. If they know they can handle paying down debt, that's what they do. And if they can't handle it all, then they mix the two, and that's called a hybrid. And then we charge, if for this example, somewhere like around 4%, but it does vary, of course, because of the ratios of debt to equity. Okay, so I'm going to show you today, and this is important, I'm going to show you real deals today, deals that we're involved in within our business. But the figures I'm showing you are illustrative. So this is my disclaimer. I don't know if you can do what I've done, and I'm not promising you that you can. And the reason is because I really don't know who you are yet. We haven't met yet. So I'm going to use an actual example from a deal files, but you may not get the same results. And listening to me or watching me and looking at all this stuff, understand that I'm not claiming that you will earn exactly the same as us. That's all the legal stuff, and we have to do it, to be legal. But it also makes a lot of sense. If you are the kind of person who gets involved in something and then hopes for the best, well, don't hope, it won't work. But if you're the kind of person who really gets committed to something like this, if you really want to think about hiring an apartment in Koh Samui in Thailand for the winter, or in a ski resort in Europe for the winter, or whatever it is you want to do and however you want to live, if you are the person who will commit to doing what's required to do it, then this will work for you. But I can't guarantee you the figures because the nature of what I do doesn't allow me to guarantee. All right, so let's have a look at the role you'll play and the commission you get paid. So this is you're taking care of outreach and deal wins. So you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn and via email, both of which I'll show you how to do. And you're basically running through the numbers to find out what kind of companies are looking to raise capital. And that's the outreach. And then you go through a process, again, different training, where you'll work out how to win those deals. You then hand over to the finance team, and after that, you just look after the deals. You have a little spreadsheet. That means you can have a look at the spreadsheet any day, and it will tell you where the deals are. So what stage of the process are they at, and therefore when can you expect to be paid on successful deals? And then you just hand over to the finance process. It's got nothing to do with you. So you're just, once you've won a deal, you're just doing deal management. So going through what you do, you'll take outreach to prospects via LinkedIn and email. You'll build a relationship using deck, videos, and proof, all of which are supplied to you. And then you'll book a Zoom meeting with the prospect. You'll qualify them on that meeting, and you'll follow my 3 Ps deal closing formulas. That's also part of the deeper training. From there, they sign a contract. You may need to make introductions to them to the finance team. That's the bit where it's not tick box. We'll need to look at the case and see who they need to speak to become comfortable in doing business with you and with us. Once the contract's signed, you then hand over to the finance team and you manage the deal flow thereafter. And when I say manage the deal flow, it's really just making sure that your client's happy, that he's happy with how things are going, that you are in the base camp, which is a deal project flow platform, and you just keep an eye on it. So if there's anything that needs your attention, if there's anything not been done, if there's any delays, if there's a problem with any part of it, then you just jump in and problem solve. So let's have a look at the commission splits. Pretty much now, I am using an example here of a company that I work with in London, UK. We do work with them globally. At the moment, I'm raising capital with them in the UK, in India, and in America. I've also done deals with them in Canada. So what happens is when you do a deal, and a dollar comes in success fees, they take 70%, 70 cents, and you take 30. Now, the reason they take a lot more than you is because A, there's 11 people involved in the negotiation and the process of raising the capital. There could be hundreds of hours of phone calls if it's an equity deal. They have to prepare decks, prepare valuations, prepare all of the financials. They do easily 90% of the heavy lifting for 70% of the money. So, but that's a very first split, and I'll show you why that makes sense. So I'm going to take you through some examples on the commission split and what it looks like on 5 different deal levels: 3, 5, 10, 20, and 50. Now, I don't work on deals less than 10 million. Yeah, I mean, you can. You'll find that your time is much better spent on larger deals, and it's easier in a sense because it differentiates you from the small kind of broker, the broker level dealers who are in this space. So 10 million and above, but I wanted to show you just on the smaller deals as well. So this is a $3 million deal, and I'm focusing on debt, not equity at this stage. So you can work out the equity as well, but this is debt. So when you're onboarding a client on a $3 million deal, the onboarding fees are always the same, which is £15,000, of which £4,000 goes to you. There is a 3,500 monthly charge, which is a 3-month limit, so there's only 3 months of charges, and then the success fees are 2%, and with the funding share, that's the 70-30 split that I just showed you. So we have equity and hybrid, but I'm just showing you the $3 million deals raising debt at the moment because it's a lot easier to show you. So the commission there is 70-30, and that's yours. All right, so that's a $3 million deal. $5 million, well, let's just go back to that. So a $3 million deal would work out at 3 million in the amount raised, 60,000 in fees, 36 in commission to the finance, and 18 to you. The 5 million would have 100 grand in fees, 70k goes to the financiers, and 30k goes to you. And remember, you don't have very much costs, and you don't have very much tax. So by the time the financier company has paid out all of their fees, you end up with more money. 10 million would give you 60k, and 20 million would give you 120k, and 50 million would give you 300k. Now, $50 million deals don't come along all the time, but they come along regularly enough to make this a really nice $300,000 a year plus business. Okay. Now, remember, these figures are indicative; they're not guaranteed. They are based on the numbers from one of my partners who work on the finance with me. But those deals can be open to you if you decide to become a partner with us. Okay, so the second income stream is interesting. It's where you find, fund, and acquire opportunities for your clients. So companies get into the M&A space to buy other companies. They may buy their competitor, which gives them market share. They may buy a business that's similar and they have the same client profile, but what they have is different products. That immediately allows cross-selling between their existing clients, selling them the new company stuff, and their new clients selling them their stuff that they already sell through their existing business. They might be buying a supply chain company, which increases their revenue, so not directly connected to the business they've got other than the supply chain aspect, but it's about increasing revenues and therefore valuation. They may be buying premises, stock, machinery, vehicles. That's all consolidation. They may be buying up a sales team. Starting a sales team from scratch is expensive and very time consuming. R&D, research and development, is the same. Why not buy a company that's already building out the stuff that they're going to be using? And they may just be buying to build to sell their business. So they're a $25 million company now, but they want to be a $50 million company or $100 million company in 4 years. They're going to need somebody with the experience to go out and find those businesses. So what you do in that aspect is you find the companies that are looking to exit, and that's really just outreach. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in a couple of minutes. And then you liaise between the buyer, your client, and the seller. So you're the person in the middle putting it all together. And then when something comes through, when an opportunity comes, you bring the deal team together to get it done. The funding side of it is pretty much what I've just shown you. You're connecting to the right funders, you're still doing the liaison between, and you're managing the deal flow. So it's kind of the same as a capital raise, or not even kind of, it's almost exactly the same, except for you had a hand in actually finding the business. So how much can you earn on the consulting fees for find, fund, and acquire? Well, you can charge over £5,000 a month to do this. And the value is when you're looking at companies who are spending, they want to spend $10 million on an acquisition, and you can both find the company and help them to find it. Charging somewhere between £5,000 and £8,000 per month is quite easy to do. They won't see it as a lot of money. They're already paying out that kind of money, and importantly, they don't have to get involved in the heavy lifting of the outreach and the management and the liaison and all of that stuff. That's well worth £5,000 of their money. You can handle 5 or 6 clients like this, and the reason you can do it is because you don't have to do the heavy lifting either. If you're getting paid £5,000 to do the research outreach to potential clients, you can automate a lot of it, but you can also just hire somebody in for a couple of grand a month. So, and it's not even a full time for them, so they could handle 2, 3, or 4 of these deals for you. So you can bring in somebody, just a freelancer. You don't have to employ them or anything, but they will take care of that for you. So accessories, exactly the same. Debt is 2%, equity 7%, and hybrid 4%. So the figures, the earnings that you make are pretty much the same as the capital markets. So if you were working on a $50 million acquisition, you could end up with 300 grand for seeing that deal through, plus your fees that you get fee monthlies. It's also possible to take a slice of, for you to take a slice of equity. Doesn't happen all the time. They're not always happy to do it. And for me, I'd rather just take the money and invest it myself into something else rather than mess about with equity negotiations and so on. So again, 70-30 split for you. All right, the other thing we do is exits. So when you're looking for a company for your client to buy, the other flip side of that is looking for a company to buy your client, and that's the exit strategy. So the strategy is pretty much the same. You're going to do an outreach for, let's say your client is in the engineering space, mechanical engineering or structural or civil engineering, and they want to sell. When you reach out to them, you will find companies saying, actually, we're looking to sell. Can you help us with that? And then you just land an exit client. You can charge them per month, or you can charge a fee, say 5% of the value that they sell their company from. So very substantial. And then you can help the person that you find to buy their company. You can raise the money for them to do it, so you get paid on that side as well. And an IPO is where a company is going public. Now, we've only just started doing this at Rise, and but we've got our first one pretty much getting to the end of doing. But if we get that right, and it looks like we've got it right, then the fees are substantial on that, and we'll be training you on how to do that if you become a partner with us. So that's the numbers. You see, you can earn really, really good cash. Now, again, you have to commit yourself to A, getting the work done, but B, when you're on those Zoom calls, you have an opportunity, but it's time limited, to present yourself as the person with the network, the context, the experience, the framework, everything that person at the other end of the Zoom call becomes confident that you are the person to do it. Now, the 3 Ps, which I show you in the training program, will get you through that line, will get you across that line. But it's you as well. If you turn up in flip-flop shorts and I think they're called wife beater vests, then it's not going to happen. So you wear a nice shirt. It doesn't matter if you're wearing shorts as long as they can't see them, but you look professional on that call. You make sure it's a video call because there's that rapport building, and you don't have to cross the country or the world to meet that client. That's enough to get you done, because the 3 Ps that you'll learn about in training will take you the rest of the way. But you need to have a good quality laptop. I used a Chromebook for a good few years. I have a Mac now in my studio because I need better processing power to do these videos for you guys. But when I'm traveling, I still use a Chromebook. So it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands. A Chromebook, I think, cost me $600 or euros, something like that. Need a good phone. I use a Pixel Pro 7 at time of putting this together. And the reason I have a phone at that level, because before that, I think my phone was about 400 euros. But the reason I upgraded my phone was, again, videos, 4K quality videos for you guys. And you need a notepad. I use an electronic device called a Remarkable 2, which I really love, and that means all of my notes never get lost. They're always there for me. So check out the Remarkable 2. It's pricey, so you don't need to commit to it straight away, but you'll find it's. I think you'll find if you're a writer like me and you write a lot and you like to put your ideas somewhere and then refer back to them, Remarkable 2 is really cool. And then all you need is a Zoom account. Now, you need a professional Zoom account. You need to pay for it. There's reasons. If you have a free account, I think you're limited to 30 minutes. And the last thing you want to be doing is to get towards the end of a deal call, and then you get a little buzz that says your call ends in 5 seconds. It's a couple of $100, pounds, euros, whatever it is per month, per annum. Pay the money and look professional when you do it. So All right, so let's say you've made all the decision, you're going to go forward with this. You see how you can build a 300 grand a year plus business per year. You're going to know shortly how to get your clients. And so you're going to set up your company. Now, remember this, because this is the part that's probably different for you. There is no obligation on you, regardless of where you live, to have a company in that place. If you're an American citizen, there's no obligation to have an American company. If you're British, there's no obligation to have a British company. You have a company, especially with the executive nomad framework, to set up your company wherever is best for you. That means reporting and tax payments, right? So you can have a company, and we'll go through these in more detail in your training, in Malta, in Cyprus, in Bulgaria, in Estonia, in America, if you're not an American. There's so many places that you can set up your company that protects you, number one, but also reduces your taxes to, in some of those jurisdictions, to as low as zero corporation tax if you do not conduct business in the jurisdiction of where your company is registered. So, as an example, Gibraltar has a tax system whereby for your company, whereby if you don't actually conduct business in Gibraltar, the money that your company generates does not get taxed at corporation rate. Now, that's a grey area, and there's lots of things you have to look at and get good advice on, but that's pretty much how it works. So that's how you set up your company in a foreign country, not where you're from or where you're living. Setting up your bank is also pretty easy. So you'll need a Stripe account, because when you send your client a contract for the Find, Fund and Acquire, as an example, you want them to read that contract and sign up with a click. And the only real way to do that is through Stripe. It just gives them a link, they pay there and then. You're not letting them think about things. You're not letting them stew over the idea of working with you. Bang, it's done. Your money's in Stripe. When your money is in Stripe, remember that's an e-commerce platform. You want to move your money out, and you move it out to wise.com. And the reason you do that is because you can have a dollar account, a pound account, a euro account, a yen account, a whatever account. There are so many accounts depending on where you work. If you work in Turkey, you can have a Turkish lira account. But that's all so easy to manage online, just from your phone. It's the only account that I use for my company setup, and it doesn't take long. Now, you will have to go through KYC, know your customers, so they will want proof of address. They will want to see your passport, that kind of stuff. But there's no way around that. You have to do that kind of stuff. Okay, so now you've got your company, you've got your way to get paid, wise.com and Stripe. You have got, you know how much you're going to earn. Now, the only thing really to think about, and to bear in mind this, that you're going to be able to do this from wherever your laptop is sitting. So if that happens to be in a beach cafe in La Maya in Koh Samui, that's fine. You've got to be able to find the clients. So let's move across now to a video that I made earlier for you, and let's see how that's done. I'm going to show you how to connect with a contextual example. I'm going to show you how to connect to 1,500 perfect prospects for one of your clients. Let's go do that now. Okay, guys, I'm over at findthatlead.com, and let's say for this exercise we're doing a Find, Fund and Acquire project for a client in the engineering space. So they've asked us to source other engineering companies that might be for sale. This is how we will do it. So just fill in the search criteria in the US. We'll go wide just for US. They may just want New York State or whatever, but just for this example, so I can show you a lot of details. Job title is President and CEO and Chairman and Founder and Partner. It should give us pretty much everyone we want to speak to. And let's go with the CFO as well. That's the Chief Financial Officer, because oftentimes they're the people who are in charge of this stuff. We're in the engineering space. And you can see up here, there's 26,500 expected prospects. Now I've got an account with, I believe, 5,000 on this. Now let's put the word structural. Let's see what, so structural engineering company. So 1,500 prospects, right? We're only going to go for their corporate emails. We don't want their personal. So that should bring us a good part of the way. And away it goes. Okay, so there are nearly 1,500 leads found, and you can see. All right, so these are all the people that are in civil engineering, and so on. So this is exactly the right people I need to be talking to for my client who's looking to buy a company in this space. So I click to generate their emails, and I get 1,400 prospects, and then I go up to. So let's assume I'm not going to waste the credits on that, but let's assume that that's what I'm going after. Okay, I'm going to create a new campaign. It's going to ask us to upload all the data that we've pulled off. I'll just use a test one here. So there's everybody that we need to talk to. So next thing is we're going to validate the data. And it takes out invalid emails, blacklisted emails, all good stuff. So that's taken care of, and that protects you. So I've got 3,320. I said this is just the test file. This is from something else. So I use this. I use this email header because it's quite, if they're not interested, then they'd open it anyway because they don't know whether it's to be acquired or to acquire. And then I'll just that's really all I do. It's just a very, very straightforward email. Don't mess about. I then go through it all and send the data. So let's send. So I've already set up that's going to come out of my .email account, which is my Google account. So how many am I going to send per day? I'm aware of the legal obligations. That's in my time zone. I'm near Sofia right now. And I'm not going to send on Sunday, and I'm not going to send on Monday. And yeah, the rest is fine. And then I click send. Obviously, I'm not going to send that, but that's it. So pop over to findthatlead.com and have a look. Now, there's a number of similar software apps like this, but I think this is a really, really nice one to use because the emailing system is built into it. So I really like it. I hope that works for you. All right. That was easy, wasn't it? So it's quite exciting stuff, right? So you know how to find clients, you know how to approach clients, you know how to build them through your company, you know how much you'll make it from the raise that they're going to do, you know where the money goes, and you know how to find the actual clients. And that database on findthatlead.com. Now there are more like it. There's plenty now, but AI is driving all that stuff massively and very, very fast. But Find That Lead or whoever you decide to use, that stuff is out there, and that stuff will connect you directly to your clients. And it doesn't matter what part of this business that you're operating. That's more than enough for you to do. So let's take a look at the next steps. I want to show you why I've presented this opportunity to you today and done it for free, obviously. Well, I want to take the free stuff much, much further. I want to show you my entire program, exactly how to run this business, and I want to do it for free. And the reason I want to do it for free is this. Some of you will just be able to take this and go off and do it and just do your thing. Some of you will be able to just take what you learn, go and do it, or apply it to a different field. It doesn't have to be finance. The whole process also works, and do your own thing with it. And I wish you well. I hope I'm pleased that I've taught you something. I wish you well to do it. So You can also stay in the same sector and just go it alone, but you can also join me as a partner. And by joining me as a partner, you get access to my 30 years of networks. You get access to all of my network partners. You get access to my databases. You get access to my website. You get access to everything that I bring to the table to become a partner with me. So you will be bringing deals to me, and I will be working. Me and my team will be working on those deals with you to make sure you get them across the line. That costs £5,500 and the equivalent in euros, GBP and whatever per year. That's a license fee you pay every year to have access to everything that I do. Now that's very, very affordable given the nature of the deals. Even at the lowest level, 5,500. I want it to be enough that it can support us to support you, so we can carry on with training videos, carry on bringing new opportunities, run the website, do everything we do to bring you opportunities to make even more money. Now, you get fully set up under my brand, or you can run under your own brand. Those are choices you make. You can be, my company is Rise Strategies. You can be a part of that group and get access to everything we've got, or you can make the choice, well, I want to be so-and-so capital, and I just want to white label you guys to help us with deals. I'm very, very easy with either one. They both have their pluses and minuses, their pros and cons and so on. You get access to my network for deals. So if you bring a deal to me in 2 weeks' time and I say that's a $10 million deal and it's in the fintech space, let me help you get that deal done. I will work with you to get that deal over the line. All right. So that means you don't have to go out and find the private equity, the family office, the business brokers, the banks, the capital markets, the institutional investors. You don't have to do that because we can take care of that for you. So this is all about fast tracking. I'm keeping it at the most affordable fee because this is how I want to grow my network of nomad executives. This is how I wanted to build the quality of people, with the caveat that not everybody who wants to do this will, in my opinion, be able to and will be able to present their brand. And I would not let you spend that kind of money if I didn't think you could do this. So before you do that, once you've gone through the training, in order to become a partner, if that's what you want to do, we have a Zoom meeting and I will have a conversation with you and we will decide between us if this is the right opportunity for you to do. So you can rest assured that I'm not just going to say, yes, of course you can do it, because I have a brand to build myself. So I'm going to be building out my brand with people who I know are going to be great quality people to build their business, because that means I'll have a business in 10 years' time. All right. So to recap, then you get marketing materials, you get a license, and that includes exit and IPO, which is for partners only. But you will get access to how and training in how to build those, and they are the next level of deals that we get involved in. Also, when you pay money every year, once we do the first deal of that year, then you get that money refunded. I think that's fair. The reason I do that is because I will take a commission from the deal itself. You get direct access to my management team. They'll take you through the deals and work with you on a day-to-day basis. And look, this is important too. Your success is guaranteed. It's an if, because that's important. Right? This is about, I'm teaching you stuff that I can't take back. So once I teach you, you've got the knowledge. So I want to be sure that we are being fair to each other. So I'm prepared to teach you and I'm prepared to take you on as a partner. And I'm prepared to guarantee you 100% that you can be a success. But you have to guarantee me that you will do what's needed to do the business, to get it rolling, to get it started. And then if for whatever reason over the next 12 months it doesn't work for you as a partner, then if you have done everything I've taught you to do, and you gain the knowledge that I've taught you over the next 12 months, then if it doesn't work and it's my fault, not yours, then I will pay you your money back. So I think that's the fairest I can be. I think that takes the risk away from you, as long as, and I like to talk straight, it takes the risk away from you as long as you do what's required of you to get this thing done. All right. So sign up for my free training. I'm going to take you for a look behind the curtain of how this entire industry works, and we'll see you on that training program.